what the strategies we are putting to make sure that we contain crime in that area. I respond as follows. We've had, during the last few months, about 7 cases. First one, Frank Wanjala, deceased, 23 years old, a border rider, was killed on 7th of August. A security guard actually, guard reported that he found a body with injuries, and the facts are there. The second one is Alfred Mwanyao, 30 years, who was also found dead in along the Mwatate Taveta Road with multiple cuts on their forehead. The third one, Joseph Kilango Manjala, 27 years old, reported on 4th July 2024. Number 4, Abdallah Mtongolo Vietim, again 3rd July 2024. In Voi, then Mengo Silas Silo, deceased, 1st May 2024, again in Voi. Number 6, William Waguda, again 38 years, was passed on at Wildlife Works, and the motorcycle was stolen. And number 7, Sylvanus Momela, 24 years old. The date is that, I think the date is not very clear there, but the details are provided there. Those are the statistics we have up to now for the last few months. With regard to the second issue, what measures we are taking: arrests, of course, where we can be able to identify suspects, increased police patrols within the county to deter the crime. We have asked the Taita Taveta County Policing, Taita Taveta County Security Team, which is chaired by the County Commissioner, to give us a roadmap on revitalization of community policing as a way of preventing these things. Most of these attacks appear at night, and therefore the support of communities, because they know their localities through the policing, county policing arrangements, community policing arrangements are important. Then Ngao have been asked to develop also a long-term intervention mechanism. And when I looked at this statement, actually, I spoke to the county commissioner and the county police commander, and I told them in the next week or 2, I need a crime prevention and crime suppression strategy to make sure that we stop losing our young people in this manner, which has been reported quite repeatedly across Taita Taveta County. So I don't think at the moment perhaps maybe I can share that with the honorable member when that report comes, so that he can also help us to sensitize the community on what we need to do to contain this situation. The measures we have implemented immediate include enhanced enforcement of traffic regulations, coordinating with the county government also to ensure that we have an orderly border industry. We have encouraged riders to join SACCOs for better regulation because this sector is facing a lot of challenges, because some of the riders have been implicated in crime, but also some of the riders have been victims of crime. So we need a bit of tidying up of the organizational and regulatory framework for them. And in the long term, we want to invest in data collection and in this industry and review the relevant policies and legislation. Already, I am engaging my counterpart in the Ministry of Transport because of the role of NTSA, and between NTSA and National Police Service, we want to come with a policy and legislative proposal for actually regularizing and making sure we create an orderly border industry which is free from crime, but also contributes to economic development, reduce the number of accidents that are a huge economic cost on the communities across the country, and also a strain on the healthcare system of the country, because there are hospitals which have dedicated wards for border related accidents of both passengers and riders. And therefore, Chair, in a nutshell, at the moment we are seized of this matter, and the County Security and Intelligence Committee of Taita Taveta has been told within the next 14 days at the latest, they must file a report. I said 7, but because of the to and fro, maybe 14 will be a good time so that we can be able to share with the leaders there and support the suppression of crime in Taita Taveta County. I submit.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Waziri, for the
2 minutes kindly.
For the response. First, Chair, I want to just you to understand, and the Minister, that we are losing on average 2 young people in a month for the last 5 months. So far, I think the number indicated is 7. This one you're missing. The first one that was killed in April, Daniston Mwakio Mongombe, but particularly happened to be my cousin. So it was the first casualty. Then since April to date, we have lost another 7. So you can imagine every month, an average of about 2 cases. Waziri, since the cases started, there's no one that has been arrested in connection to murder. Out of the 7, all of them have lost their motorbikes, but there are about 15 to 20 motorbikes that have been stolen, but the victims were not killed. So these 7 were killed. So I keep wondering whether this country, our intelligence is working, whether DCI is working. Cases, killings, and the same fashion. The bodies are dismembered, they are deep cuts, they're all, brutally murdered. And when the first case happened, Chair, we spoke to the security operators in Taita Taveta. They said that was the last. Then the second one happened. They said it is the last. Last Friday, Saturday, we buried the most recent one, just last Saturday. So this, and when I sought for this statement, we were at number 5. Now we are at number 7. So Waziri, I think there's something that is totally broken down in terms of security and intelligence in Taita Taveta, which needs to be fixed. And one area that I want to say, Chair, you allow me, Waziri, remember when you were appointed the first time, you came up with an indication that police officers that have stayed 3 years in a station needs to be reshuffled. I think this is a high time that happens in Taita Taveta. Any police person who has stayed in Voi and in the larger Taita Taveta for the last 3 years, I think that's where we need to start. So that then we can start afresh, because we can't be losing young people. Average 25 years, it is sad. And now that we celebrated the last one last week, I want to believe that this is the last, now that we are engaging. Because just call your officers to order, let them work. DCI, intelligence, and the entire security committee, let them work. Lastly, Chair, it's apparent that all these border guys have been at motorbikes on credit when they're just about to finish paying for the loans, or they've just finished, is when the border get missing. So we're also asking your ministry to investigate whether these guys who lend to motorcycles to border operators, whether they know something about this issue. Because it is happening that all the borders are on credit, but they have 5,000-10,000 to finish, borders are stolen. And therefore, so that then if there is a connection, we need to call them into order. And lastly, when they sign for those agreements, they're told that the motorcycles are insured, but there's never compensation. They get stolen, and that is it. The families do not get any compensation. And lastly, okay, I've said lastly enough times, but I need to say this, that even as we do this, Chair, and I feel this statement is not, I know the capacity Waziri has. I think this statement has just been sent from either the county commissioner or the county commander. It doesn't look like it is a serious statement. Just saying border has to go join circles, border to, it doesn't have content. And I'm sure that's why, Waziri, when you looked at it, you called and asked for another report to be filed in 2 weeks. I want to request Waziri, I think that kuna mchezo mahali. Because in the country, Chair, I've done some investigation. The whole country, for the last 5 years, 5 months, we've lost less than 15 border operators. 7 of them are from Taita Taveta. So there's something in Taita Taveta that is happening that needs more, your eye in Taita Taveta. 7 out of 15 in the country, a small county, a peaceful county, there's a problem. Chair, there's a rumor, I don't see us to confirm, that there was a murder convict that escaped Manyani in March. And I did call Manyani, the in charge of Manyani prison, but I didn't get any information. But it appeared in some gutter press that there's a murder convict that who happened to be he had committed murder a year ago in my constituency, and he was convicted for 30 years. The rumor has it was in a gutter press somewhere, and people in the social media that he had disappeared. So I wanted to confirm whether that is the position, and if it's a position, maybe that can be. Maybe there is a connection. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, we will, as the members observed and as also had told the committee, we are not at a position now to comprehensively address that issue. That's why I gave my team 2 weeks. But what I want to agree with the member outrightly now is the issue of the deployment we have in Taita Taveta at the moment. That's something we can administratively look at even as we wait for the report, both DCI and the NIS team there. On the question of overstayed officers, we started this exercise last year. 42,500 officers have been in one station for more than 3 years, contrary to government policy. We began the program of the transfers. We are halfway. We are about 26,000 already have moved because of their logistical issues. There are issues that come with these transfers and movements. But I want to assure the House that that policy is reversible and will be implemented to the full. Any officer who has served in one station for more than 3 years must move to another station. You cannot have a security officer serving in one area for 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. It is against public interest, and they make police officers part of the local community. They start opening bars and doing civilian things there, and marrying local girls and getting married to local boys. And the police officer loses the integrity, the impartiality, and the esteem that he should carry themselves with. So I will perhaps engage the member further once that, and if the committee needs me maybe later on this,